Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time is here. Diablo 4 is officially on Steam with the launch of Season of Blood, and it's getting absolutely torn apart. Let's talk about it. Now, I wouldn't exactly say we're in full-blown review bomb territory, but I would say that we are very close to a nuclear situation. I would say we're in the Cold War right now. We're evenly mixed, so if we take a look at the top here, review type between positive and negative, there's actually more positive than negative reviews right now. So I had to further investigate, so I switched it to most helpful reviews, and I just started scrolling because these ones are going to have the most updates from the Steam community. And as we go down, we come across this lovely little number. Can't believe how much they're paying for positive reviews. So yeah, there's a lot of people using the thumbs up for a obvious sarcastic reaction to the game, right? So another thing that you'll notice in this is that a lot of these reviews come with 1 hour tags, 0.5 hours, 0.4 hours. You get the picture. So obviously this game launched on the battle.net launcher, so these people are buying the Steam game and then refunding it after writing their review. In this case, I think it's okay, so they can voice their complaints and things like that. But in most cases, I don't think that this is a healthy practice. Now, depending on the situation, I'm usually against review bombing, especially if it has nothing to do with the actual game or gameplay itself, and it has to do with some kind of company culture canceling type thing happening in the media. I don't like that type of stuff. If you're going to straight up review bomb a game, the game has to be absolutely terrible and in a terrible state. And as I'm sure you are all very aware, Diablo 4 in the history of the Diablo franchise is coming off of one of the worst seasons in the history of the franchise. I mean, we're talking about a situation for a game that had multiple years of development and plenty of different feedback threads, 2 different open betas, a launch of the game, and an uproar, an overcoming amount of community feedback on a game that was missing quality of life features, had lacking in the gameplay mechanics, lacking content, microtransaction issues, claiming the season pass was an issue. So many different individual instances of things that they could do to listen to the community, some of them being extremely simple, and they just didn't do it. And here's the thing, Blizzard is not a stranger to getting review bombed, right? I mean, look at this post from 11 years ago. Diablo 3 ratings get bombed by angry gamers. Angry PC gamers have responded to Blizzard servers' woes by submitting hundreds of negative Diablo 3 reviews and dragging its average down to a lowly 3.6. The servers were absolute trash, and then people got to play the game, and that game was also lacking content. It was, you can kill Diablo on Inferno if you're lucky. You couldn't do it pre-nerf. Only one person did that. And after nerf, the drops and things like that weren't meaningful enough to engage you. The skill system wasn't meaningful enough to engage you. It's like they learned almost nothing after that initial review bombing. From here, I mean, we all know the story, right? We all know how Diablo 4 launched, right? The servers were actually relatively stable, in my opinion, compared to past Blizzard launches. They were actually pretty good. There was a queue time, but that was perfectly fine. But once you got in, the first, 50 levels or so were great. And then after that, it kind of just all went to shit. It's like, it had this pretty wall up, but then when you enter the home, it's just drywall inside. There's nothing going on inside. It's just unpainted drywall. That's exactly what Diablo 4 was. And in cases of review bombing, I feel like developers usually have some kind of precedent set, like they know it's going to come. But I don't even know if they actually did in this case, because it wasn't until recently that the developers actually even played the game. So how could they even know the game was bad if they didn't play it, right? And this is what makes it so different than any other normal AAA studio. Blizzard has been around for so long that they have built a massive, amazing repertoire, a resume of these fantastic games. But they've also created a lot of shit ones, so it very much contradicts, what they used to be. So let me explain. So we have our handy dandy paint tool here, and if we go back all the way to the start of Blizzard, 1991, the good old days, and then we also put the end, present. Oh my God, the present. So in 1991, the amount of people interested in Blizzard games is a little bit low, right? It's obviously a lot lower in 1991. There's less gamers. Diablo comes out. Oh, that's a big deal. Diablo 2 comes out. Huge. Warcraft is mixed in here. What a great time. World of Warcraft comes out. Massive spike in players. Burning Crusade comes out. Massive spike. Lich King, huge spike. Everybody's so into it. Oh my god. Cataclysm, we got a bit of a dip here. You know, all the other expansions mixed in there. You know, we have Diablo 3. There's a big spike again, but it immediately drops off after people realize it's shit. And then we come down and we're continuing in that downward trend. Diablo 4 comes back. We got a big spike again. Oh, hell yeah, boys. And then it's down. So you can see by my calculated math here that the reason people get so mad is because there's so many people invested. There's so many people that have years of gaming experience, years of money put into different Blizzard games, and they just want them to be good. Which brings us back to Diablo 4. How did we get here? Why? Why are we here? How did we get so epically boned by the company? Well, it's communication. And what I mean by communication is that these companies think that they know what we want, and they think that we don't know what we want. So I'm sure you've heard many AAA companies basically come out and say, you think you want that, but you don't. Trust us, TM. And this is, like I said, not a Blizzard isolated type thing. This is an entire ego of an entire, like, AAA studios as a whole. Many developers, you know, at these companies have such massive egos to assume that they know what's best for the player and they know how to make, you know, the best game, even though we're the ones that put thousands of hours into these types of things. Now, I'm not saying, you know, every gamer's opinion is equal, right? But if you have millions, a collective audience telling you, hey, maybe you should make a gem stash tab. Maybe you should give the ability to have more stash tabs in general. Maybe, this is a crazy idea, you should add better content or more content to the game. You can kind of assume that maybe those people know what they're talking about. And I don't want to be too extremely harsh on Blizzard or the Diablo 4 team, because here's the thing. I really think they did hear us. I think they did understand the communication coming at them, and they did understand that these things were lacking in the game. But one of the other problems in the AAA world, right, is that things move at a snail's pace. It is cold molasses on a winter day. It is just watching paint dry. Extremely slow. You know, just to get any kind of change through, it has to go through a 7-layer bean dip of approval before that thing can actually get rolled out. And that's why we're here, you know. I'm playing Season of Blood and I'm enjoying it. I like the changes. They're fun. It's fun to do. Is it a perfect game still? No. Is it a step in the right direction? Sure. Can I tell that they listen to a large amount of feedback from the player base? Absolutely. But that's the problem. Blizzard has such a big audience, such a wide net cast that I described, that you pissed off a lot of people, and some people aren't as easy to give a second impression, you know, much less a first impression. Now, what do I want? I want them to keep developing the game. I want them to keep listening to the community and keep trying their best every day to make this game what it should have been to begin with. And over time, I think they will recapture a lot of people that they lost. Not everyone, but I think they will recapture a lot of people. I hope things like this review bombing doesn't discourage them, right? I mean, we see Sad Joe come on the stream, and it's low-key heartbreaking to, you know, watch him just sad, just moping onto the stage. So I hope they keep working on it. Myself, personally, I will be playing Season of Blood to its entirety. I'll probably get my sorcerer to level 100, and if I'm still having fun by then, I'll probably try another character. Make sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll be dropping a full video of my thoughts on the Season of Blood one of these days here, probably in a week or two when I have time. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you.